Hello friends, this is Barbara from Wigs and Fluff. And today I want to talk to you about hairdos and about face shapes. Again, I know I've talked about face shapes before, but this was really brought home to me and in a big way when I went to the wig shop to buy the two new wigs that I have. And there was another lady in there, and she was suffering from a health issue of some sort and was losing her hair. And she wanted the long, straight hairdos that matched what she always wore. She apparently just washes her hair and combs it straight down. And she had kind of a round face like me, but she had never changed her hairdo. And she was wanting another wig that was long and straight. And the lady who owned the shop was struggling to help her because none of them looked that good on her, to be honest, because she was an older woman now. And what may have looked good on her when she was like 16, 17, 18 doesn't look good on her now because faces change. They do. You can remember when you were in junior high how quickly your face changed from junior high to high school or to college. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but I did. I noticed that the people around me, their faces were changing. They were just getting bigger, longer, what have you. I just remember that for some reason. And I remember my face shape didn't change much because I have a round face. And for the longest time, I didn't know why mine didn't grow and get bigger and stuff, but I just had a little round face and always stayed that way. But to get back to the lady in the shop, she had a face similar to mine. It was roundish, and she was determined to buy a wig with long, straight hair and no bangs, just parted in the middle and straight down. And I really wish that the proprietor of the shop could have steered her into at least trying on a few new hairdos, because this might have opened up some doors for her that she might not otherwise have done. Sometimes people get stuck into the habit of wearing the same type of hairdo year after year after year, no matter what stage of life they're in, and they never change. They don't change from when they were a teenager, 16, 17 years old, to when they are 70 years old. They still have the long, straight, Barbie doll type hair. They don't understand that their face has changed, their body has changed, and it really is time for a new look. But sometimes people just don't get that. So I want to try something on for you, and I want you to see something. I'll be right there. Now, this is the red. Let me get it on here. I haven't clamped it on or anything. I'm not going to have it on that long enough to do that with. But this is red. This is the wig I wear on occasion when I really feel like being a redhead. It's kind of a strawberry blonde, as you can see. Now, as you can see, it doesn't really do that much for me. I just like it because it's a red and it's a strawberry blonde. What's needed here is height. You see that? And bobs are not especially good on a round face or hairdos that turn under, because all it does is make my face look rounder. You see that? I mean, it almost looks funny. So what you want is you want the bangs to be parted in the middle. See how much that looks better already? Just that little bit. And you want a little bit of height. You see that? That helps immensely right there. You see what I'm talking about? Just a little bit of change. You want some layers in your hair if you have a round face. You don't want it all straight. But unfortunately, my hair is too thin for layers, so you would just have nothing left if you tried to put layers in my hair. So this is what I'm trying to talk to you about. Now, this is the red. Was a $20 wig. I have no idea where I bought it. Just one of those wigs that I got. It's a red. It's like a strawberry blonde. I like it sometimes, and a lot of times I'll wear it like this. I try to find ways to make it poof up here a little bit for me so it can work, but it's just not especially a flattering hairdo because it comes in right there. That's not good on a round face. It just accentuates the round. So just a minute and I'll try something else on. Now, here's the voltage. This is altogether different, isn't it? So, as you can see, this has puffy bangs, not that flat bangs that the red had. This has a little bit of poof, a little bit of height, and you can do something with it like that, you know, to give it a little bit more height. Now it is short, but it does complement my face. And I think what the difference is that with a round face like this, you really have to take into consideration that you want to lengthen your face. And this one somehow lengthens my face. There's a little bit of kick out that comes down here below my ear, and that really helps. That is something that helps bring attention away from the shortness over here. You see that? Now, people with round faces like I have do not have much of a chin. Excuse me. Allergies again. They don't have much of a chin. It's rounded here. And like the widest part of my head is up in here at my temples. And then my cheekbones are the second widest. And then the chin is very, very rounded. Now, people with the pointy chins, the longer chins, they're probably more like diamonds or heart-shaped. So if you've got a long face that comes down into a pointy chin, you might have a diamond. If your forehead kind of goes up like this a little bit, big, tall forehead like that, you could have an oval or a long face. So, and if your jaw comes down here like this, you could have a square face. There is no one best type of face. There is no one that's better than the other. It is what it is. There are lots of people in Hollywood, glamorous celebrities with round, diamond, square, oval, heart, and long faces. It's just all kinds of different things. But the point I'm trying to make today is, don't get stuck into one hairdo. You see how this works for me? I mean, am I imagining it, or can you really see the difference? I can see it. And the color is amazing. This color is amazing. This is Shaded Vanilla by Raquel Welch, and this is the Voltage. That's right. I get them confused now. I've got so many. This is the Voltage and Shaded Vanilla. It is my favorite, so I should know it by heart by now. But I get a tremendous amount of compliments. People love this particular color. Now, if I were to wear a different style, I might find that I like it too. I'll be right back. Okay, here is the Acclaim. Here is the Acclaim in Honey Mist by Eva Gabor. This is one of my favorite styles. It's really cute. The back of it is adorable. I'm going to turn around and show you the back if I can. It is really a beautiful, beautiful hairstyle. And the reason that it works for me is because it's poofy up here on top, and because of these little tight curls are really, they're layered, but it just works because it helps. The only thing I could use is something that kicked out to the side right in here, and that would really be a big help for my round face. So, as you can see, this particular haircut would work too. I don't have to wear long hair all the time. I'm not 16, 17 years old anymore. It just doesn't work. So, let me get you something different. Now, this is my one long wig. And the reason why I have this one long wig is because sometimes you really just, you can see that sometimes you just want to really have long hair. And sometimes I'll take it and I'll put it into like a little bun in the back, and I'll show you. I'll show you. See the bun in the back? You can fix it better, but I'm just showing you. This is the reason why I keep this one long wig. And it's okay. The bangs do go to the side like that, and they're okay for me. They're not the best. It would be better if I had full bangs across, but I can carry this off pretty good. Pretty good. But I really do need fuller bangs. But anyways, I do keep this around occasionally when I want to wear a bun or just a ponytail. And this makes a really cute side ponytail like that. So that's just really flattering because it takes away the look of my round face. Do you see this over here? Your eyes are going here with these pretty curls. They're looking at that, not my roundish face. Do you see that? So I can pull this off. I can, but for the most part, I stay with the shorter hairdos. They work better on me, especially the voltage that goes up in the glazed vanilla. That's just my favorite. So that's what I was going to talk to you about today. Anyways, I have a story for you, and this is the story of Naomi and Ruth. Now, Naomi lived in Bethlehem with her husband and 2 sons. Naomi was happy and praised God for her family, but there was a famine in Bethlehem at the time, and Naomi and her husband and 2 sons moved to Moab. Remember, that was a desert community, and started a new life. And Naomi's sons found wives. They got married, and she was very happy. She blessed God. She praised God. Her sons were married. They had found wonderful women, and they were starting their own lives. But soon after, Naomi's husband died, and she was left alone. And then her 2 sons suddenly died. So all she had left was her 2 daughter-in-laws. She had 2 daughter-in-laws. One was named Ruth, and the other was named Orpah. Now, Naomi went to her two daughter-in-laws and said, look, girls, y'all are still young. Go back to Moab, find your families, and remarry, because I can't take care of you. And so what happened was Ophrah went and obeyed, and she left. She gave Naomi a hug and a kiss, and she left, and she went back to her family. Ruth, however, refused. She refused to leave Naomi. She stuck to her like butter on bread. She just refused to leave her. She hugged her and said, please don't make me go. And she said to her, your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. So Naomi said, okay. And she and Ruth stuck together, and they were close friends. They really were very close friends. And not just relatives, but close friends. And so Naomi and Ruth left Moab for Bethlehem. They decided to go back to Bethlehem because the famine in Bethlehem was over. So they went back to Bethlehem, and when they reached Bethlehem, Ruth told Naomi that she would go to work in the fields over there and do something called gleaning. Gleaning was for poor people and widows and people who did not have a means to take care of themselves or provide for themselves. And you got to go in the fields after the workers were done and pick up from the fields whatever was left over. You could put them in your basket, and you could take it home, and you could make flour out of it, because it's wheat. You take wheat and you grind it up and you make flour. So that's what they did. And one day, Naomi said to Ruth, you know what? I know the guy who owns that field that you're gleaning. His name is Boaz, and he's a relative of mine. So Ruth left for the day, and Boaz happened to come out and was talking to her because he was kind of attracted to her, to tell you the truth. He saw her, and he kind of liked her. She was a beautiful woman. And she said, you know what? My mother-in-law is Naomi, and I think you know her. And Boaz said, yeah, I do. That's my aunt. And so he said, what a coincidence. And then he talked around and he asked people about Ruth, and people were telling him stories about how good Ruth was to Naomi and how she provided for Naomi and took care of her in her old age. And through the course of some time, Boaz fell in love with Ruth. And he went to Ruth and he says, I really want to marry you. I want to be your kinsman redeemer. And the kinsman redeemer was a relative in the family. When a man died and left his wife, a relative would come and he would claim that wife, and he would marry her and take care of her. So Boaz wanted to be her kinsman redeemer. Those were the laws in Jerusalem amongst the Israelites in those days. But there was somebody else in the way who was a closer relative. And that closer relative needed to be consulted before. So Boaz told Ruth that he was going to go and talk to this fellow, and he did. And the fellow was like going, Moab woman? No, thank you. I don't want a foreigner for a wife. And so Boaz went back and told Ruth the good news that he wasn't interested, that he didn't want to marry her, and that the two of them could get married. So in time, they got married, and they had a little baby named Obed. And Obed was a descendant of David, and David was a descendant of Jesus. And that's the story of wheat fields. I almost forgot my picture. Wheat fields, threshing, gleaning, and the kinsman redeemer. I hope you enjoyed this story. It's about loyalty and about staying loyal and taking care of old people. And Ruth stood by her mother-in-law, refused to leave her, and took care of her. And because of that, God rewarded her with a rich husband. Boaz was a rich man. He owned not just one field, several fields. And so Ruth and Boaz was able to take care of Ruth and Naomi and the rest of the family. So that's how God takes care of us, and that's how God provides. Because Ruth was faithful and took care of Naomi and refused to leave her. She might have died in the desert on the way back to Bethlehem if Ruth hadn't been there. So Ruth was a younger woman, and she was able to take care of Naomi in her older age. And this is the story of the kinsman redeemer in the wheat fields and threshing. I hope you enjoyed this story today. I'll see you later.